So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another KRS Satsang where I take your questions, whatever questions they are. It could be anything, doesn't even have to do with astrology, and I choose 5 questions from there and I try to answer them here. Before it was 10, but man, you saw how long that video was when I did that last time. Okay, so let's get started with our Q&A of Satsang. Okay. If only I can find the questions because it's behind like 30 different pictures on my cell phone. So, the first questions of KRS Satsang comes from Jaya Pathik. Is it that if you do yoga and meditation, then the transiting bad planets don't affect you or lessen the bad effect? Okay. Very, very good question. Very smart question. And I know why you're asking this question because there are many gurus nowadays on social media and media. They say that, why are you trying to do remedies for the planets when you can go to the manager, which is Brahma or Vishnu or Mahesh or Krishna, whoever it is. Do that and you'll be fine. They'll take care of you. He took care of me. I no longer get affected by planets. Okay, that's fine. That is how it should be. That is true. But how many people are willing to go to the length of achieving that type of a sensible spiritual awareness and awakening where you can actually go to the manager and take care of your planetary transit? If it was really that easy to, do meditation and yoga and planets are not going to affect you. For me, it's just kind of like a bunch of BS. It's just absolutely stupid to say that unless you're adding one fact that if you want to not have planets affect you, do yoga, meditation, spiritual sadhana, but please note, it may take you 3 or 4 lifetimes to achieve to the level that I have achieved. So even if it's a 20-year-old guy, 30-year-old guy saying that, do meditation this, I did it, I achieved it. Well, they don't, I'm sure they know, but people who are listening to them don't realize that they were continuing their sadhana from many lifetimes. And so now, as soon as they reach the age of 19, 20, suddenly they have a third eye awakening. Suddenly they have a Kundalini awakening. They're like, see, I didn't have to wait that long. And now I'm here telling you and preaching you. And if they really are good at what they're doing, then they should know that, oh, I've been doing this for the past 7 lives. So that means it took me 60 years, plus 40 years, plus 50 years, plus 70 years, plus 30 years to finally get to the point when I'm now at that spiritual awakening where I become from a human to a superhuman or Superman, and the planets don't affect me. Anything happens just doesn't happen. Even Yogananda actually said that he went to astrologers and asked him for his worst time, and he beat those times, even those times were quite hard. So when you look at Yogananda was a Himalayan master in the past. He was some King George something in the past as well, but most of his life he was doing sadhana. So no, this is not so easy. Okay, it's not so easy where you do meditation and yoga and you don't get affected by the planet. I mean, if that was the case, I've been doing meditation and yoga for quite a while now, and they still affect me. So there's your answer. Then the next question is by Harit S. Nair. In one of your videos, you had told Ashtak Varga system is used for transit or planetary gocha, meaning planetary transit. But that is also indicates the strength of the planets at the time of birth, as it gives points to the place it is. Okay, there's some grammar issue, but I get it. I get what you're saying. Are the scores given at the time of birth, do they matter? Of course they do. Yes, they do. If a house has 28 points and above, it's considered good, that the planet in that house will sustain the good quality of itself. Even if it's a debilitated planet, It will give its debilitated results, but eventually it'll get strengthened with time, and it will give good results when, the maturation of that debilitation is canceled. And this also not just applies to the total points of the house. Look at the individual points. So if a planet is sitting in a particular house, and let's say it's giving maximum point in that house, and if it's debilitated, it will actually act as if it is better than exalted. So look at the individual points that goes from 0, which is the worst, to 8, which is the most excellent supreme. Take that, and then also take the accumulated points of the house. And of course, there's all this analysis that I've actually talked about in my online academy at Magha Vedic Academy, where if certain points are higher and lower in certain houses, then those houses will give benefit results. Like, for example, they always say that 11th house should always have higher points than the 10th house, because 10th house is, okay, I got the job. And if 11th house has higher points than the 11th house, it shows you will rise to the rank, because 11th house is rank and recognition. But if 11th house has low points and 10th house has higher points than the 11th house, then the person keeps working, meets all the authorities, meets all the recognition, but is never able to gain through it, never able to get that title. But let's say if 12th house has more points than the 11th house, then as the rise comes, the fall also follows. Especially there's a big difference, like 15-point difference between the 11th and 12th house. And I actually give this example of Rajiv Gandhi. If you look at Rajiv Gandhi's chart, his 11th house receives 54 points or something, or 48 points, I don't know. But then it dips down 20 points in the 12th house. So it was a sudden rise, and boom, he was assassinated. So all these things matter. So yes, to answer your question, absolutely, those things matter. Then the third question is from Sunny Jolie. Importance of true guru in our life. If you could take. Okay. Guru is very important. It's extremely important. But one thing is always said, that never rely on a guru 100%. And if a guru tries to make you rely on them, then that's not a true guru. You should run away from them. A guru should guide you, but let you get the fish. Instead of fishing for you, you need to get the fish. So Guru is there to guide you to yourself. But it's needed, because Guru is actually a major, strongest, and the biggest part of Brahma. If we are the microscopic parts of Brahma, you, me, the Guru that comes in life, which is a genuine, true Guru, okay, they are probably a big section of Brahma coming onto planet Earth, and you are probably extremely lucky to have that part of Brahma come and guide you. And obviously, with the Guru, it's also said Guru is within you. It's easier said than to understand it, because even to understand that Guru within you, you need some guidance. And even if you don't have a Guru who is alive, who is here on this planet, then you deal with Sadgurus. Sadgurus are the ones who have left their imprints and their energy on this plane, so your soul can find some light and guidance through them. It may not be, a floodlight, but it'll be a flashlight. You can still see and walk on that path. So if you look at a guru who has passed away, then they are the ones who can guide you. And one of the ways to understand the guru in yourself, and I can make a whole documentary on it, but solitution. The more a person spends time alone, desires to be alone, wanting to be by themselves, is able to understand the present universe much clearly than somebody who feels destroyed and empty when they're not with other people. Because then they're running away from themselves, because themselves is what they're scared of. And that's why they don't like being alone. And those are the type of souls who are very much attached to this plane and the rules of this plane. But ones who look for solitude, probably going to a complete place with nature, mountains, rivers. Because remember, since we are the part of nature, only when we go into nature do we feel good, we feel calm. Like you're looking at the trees and let's say I go to Sedona, the Red Rocks. When I go there, it's just some calming effect come into play. When I go to New York with the concrete jungle, within 2 hours after maybe let's say having a nice drink or dinner, I'm like, okay, when am I gonna okay, let's go home. I'm done with this place. I can't take it. Why? Because it's man-made. It's not nature-made. It's not God-made. So when you find solitude in a place which is God-made, that place and you will automatically start to sync in with your vibration. And if you spend enough time, let's say 4 or 5 days, even out of the year, 4 or 5 days by yourself, no family, nothing, you just sitting there, even at a hotel window, looking outside, you will get more insights about wisdom and about spirituality than you reading like 10 different books on Upanishads. So that's the importance of Guru, and a little tidbit on how to find one. I haven't found it, so don't think that I'm telling you and this works, but it's a procedure. Okay. Then it is from Ricky Gomez. If you decide to remain unmarried, although your Navamsha rejects success, seventh house represents prosperity, will you still be successful? Okay, so you're trying to tell me that if you're single and unmarried, will Navamsha and the core of the planet, the heart of the planets, will they still be able to give you success? Well, I mean, look at all these bachelors. Look at Leonardo DiCaprio. Look at Salman Khan in Bollywood. Single and mega millionaires, mega probably billionaires with their investments now. Of course it is. But see, we put too much emphasis and value on success with cars and money and how much is in the bank account, where a marriage partner brings the energy of Radha being with Krishna, Vishnu being with Lakshmi, Shiva being with Parvati. It's when that energy is together, something just blossoms. That's why it's emphasized that with marriage, and even if marriage is a hard deal, trust me, your soul is loving it. Your soul is like, you do not know what's happening on the other side. Believe me, we are so stupid as human beings. It saddens me. And doesn't matter if somebody has a PhD and has done applied mathematics. They're far off. They're far off regarding what life truly is. Okay. Then, how to cope with jealousy. This is by Priyanka Kesor. We've all been in those places, especially in our 20s when we would date someone, have girlfriends or boyfriends, and they're not calling you. They're looking at somebody else when you're with them, and inside you're burning. Why do you burn? Because there's no wisdom and maturity behind you. Like I used to be so jealous. Oh my God, she hasn't called me yet. Oh my God, she went with her friends. What if she's with someone else? Da 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 da. Back in the days, this is what I would think about if, let's say, one of my exes went somewhere out with the friends. And that's because it was a body without wisdom, without maturity, without any guidance. If, let's say, I was to go back in time and be with that same person and they say I'm going, I probably zone out and sleep and not even know that I have somebody with me. I wouldn't even care if they did something. That's all. It's all with wisdom and maturity. And also what happens is there's something now especially known as social anxiety, where many teenagers, and I don't know if you're a teenager or if you're in your 20s, as a millennial, but social anxiety is a big issue because when you go on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you see everybody living a successful life. And you're not living the successful life. And you try hard to take certain pictures with certain friends that make you raise your social status of social media. And when you're not able to do that and you see somebody else, then that jealousy stems in, because we are very vulnerable species. We get affected by a lot of bullshit in this life. It is what it is. But how to cope with that? Exactly what I was talking about with my earlier question: solitution. And not everybody's going to be doing it. People can go crazy with solitude. You look at a guy like, what's his name? Charles Manson. He used to love solitary confinement. He says, when the darkness comes in, that's when my world begins. So we don't know if he was like meditating or something, and he was definitely in like some other different realm, but it's addicting. For some people, solitution is addicting. Okay. But that's what really leads you to understand everything about yourself. Forget this, even the spiritual side, just your own practical well being comes from that. Then the other one, the last one is from Yash Bindwale. Can two people born on the same day, same time, same year, but still have different careers and personality? So I picked this because recently something interesting happened. Togi Aditya, one of the scholars of nakshatras and astrology, as you know, did a reading for someone who was born on the exact same day, exact same place, almost even exact same time of birth. I think there was an hour difference or something. And he's like, I'm specifically want to do consultation with this person in person. Like, I want to just talk to them. What is, because this finally that exact same scenario came in. And what he found out is that very similar life, very similar dasha patterns as to what Togi went through. And ultimately, they want to learn astrology. Ultimately, they love dealing with the stars. And of course, I don't want to give out too much detail of this person, but it was a very similar life pattern. Then just 2 days ago, I did a reading of a person who had twins. And literally one twin is 30 seconds older than the other, which surprises me because usually twins are at least a minute and a half to 2.5 minutes apart. And the thing is, their Sastyamsha was the same. Same everything, but one is wanting to go towards going into IIT. The other one wants to be in medicine. But when I was looking at the Sastyamsha chart, I saw that literally within 30 to 35 seconds, the Sastyamsha changes. So I know they're off. They could be off with their time of birth. It could be off by 5-6 seconds, but who can look at the clock so accurately? But one of them was showing that from one Sastyamsha, technical career, one Sastyamsha, medical career. And Sastyamsha and Navamsha become extremely important when you're dealing with twins. So if somebody doesn't tell you that they're part of a twin and you just do their reading, you may not get it. If somebody's a twin, they should always tell the astrologer, I'm a twin. Because then different sets of principle apply. No longer the same principle will apply with majority of the people. You'll have to use the different, then Navamsha, especially Sastyamsha, becomes extremely important. Okay? So guys, this was my today's satsang questions answers. If you want to get your question answered, then just go to my Facebook page on KRSchannel, and when I ask question for this week, then you can put your question down. I'll pick it and I'll share it here. Otherwise, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss these type of videos. And if you want to know what your planetary alignments are, my books that I've written, consultations, for that check out the links here at shop sections. Otherwise, we'll see you with our Navamsha video next. Okay, bye-bye.